All right, welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 135-pound division talking about a mega fight that could be taking place because a certain Mr. Gary Russell Jr. is returning to boxing and going head hunting for the top financial dog in the division, Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be once again in the 135-pound division, where we have good news about a certain fighter that has 2 losses on his record, the former 126-pound kingpin, Gary Russell Jr., out of the great city of Washington, D.C., who is returning and is looking for a fight with the kingpin of the division, Gervonta Tank Davis, in a fight that I do believe is very realistic and very well may happen. Because Gervonta Davis, really, once he gets past Ryan Garcia, isn't going to have anywhere to go. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you so much for your continued support on the channel. And thank you to everybody that has been supporting videos like this through the super thanks, which you can see in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. It's $1 with a heart sign, and it is a way to be able to donate to your favorite content creators. Allows content creators like myself to continue to do the work that they do that you enjoy. So if you can do it, great. If you can't, I understand. But let's get into the subject matter of this. So Gary Russell Jr. Was robbed in a fight last year. It was early last year. I believe it was early last year, maybe in late of 2021. But was robbed in a fight, in my opinion, against Mark Magsayo, and lost his WBC title when he threw his shoulder out or injured his shoulder. I do believe his shoulder was injured going into the fight. However, in my book, he beat Mark Magsayo, literally beat Mark Magsayo with one hand for the entire second half of the fight. Mark Magsayo barely landed anything on him, but was throwing a bunch of winging punches and getting tapped up in a bigger robbery than just took place at 147 between Speedy Rashidi Ellis and Villa, who for some reason lost dang near every round, but then came on in the 11th and the 12th round and somehow got a decision. I think even bigger than that robbery was the Gary Russell Jr. Mark Magsayo robbery. But whatever, it's boxing. Those things happen. You push on, you keep going. Everybody still knows that Gary Russell Jr. is definitely a very, very solid fighter. And he is making his return to boxing. He said that before he said he didn't know if he was coming back. Now he says he knows that he's coming back. And he is more than likely going to be going to 135 pounds. He said that he may go to 130 or 135. His mind's not made up. However, after Gary Russell Jr. was at the fight in DC with Gervonta Davis, it became pretty apparent exactly what weight class he should go back to and what fight should be made. And that is the fight with Gervonta Davis, one that he has been asking for a long time, and one that I think that Gervonta Davis may very well make. And let me tell you why I think he will probably make that fight. Once he fights Ryan Garcia, if Ryan Garcia actually takes that fight is supposed to be in September, right? And it is now, I'm telling you, for me, the clock is ticking. It's February, so it's January 13th right now. So you got February, March, and April. We got 3 months for the next 4 months, I'm looking for an official announcement. At 5 and 6 weeks, I'm going to start doubting it, because I'm telling you, I still do not believe Oscar De La Hoya. And I think that Oscar De La Hoya very well may pull something out at the 11th hour to keep this fight from happening. However, I know that Ryan Garcia, at least through what Ryan Garcia said and Gervonta Davis has said, has agreed to it. But until we cross that finish line, I am going to be thinking Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. That fight was supposed to be done multiple times, and just at the end of it wound up not happening. And again, I would not put that past Oscar De La Hoya to do that, because Oscar De La Hoya is making fights with his best fighters against absolutely nobody. Now, I will say, however, that he did make the Stanionis fight with Virgil Ortiz, but I think that is about as big a risk as I've seen him take in a very long time, because Amanda Stanionis is a good fighter, and Virgil Ortiz is definitely a good fighter, a big, strong fighter. However, that's maybe a 55-45 fight, 60-40 fight in favor of Virgil Ortiz, which is a much bigger chance than Oscar De La Hoya has been willing to take with his fighters for a while now. But assuming that fight actually takes place after that, you're going to have to go back to DC, man. You're going to have to go back to DC. And you're not going to be able to sell and make a bigger fight in DC than you would with Gary Russell Jr. Because Gary Russell Jr. and Gervonta Tank Davis, the lead up into that fight is going to be so much yapping back and forth. And the fact that Gary is from DC, you are going to absolutely positively bring everybody out. And more than likely, dude, it's going to be a much bigger fight than the Hector Garcia fight was, where not a lot of people even know who Hector Garcia is. Also, the chances of Gervonta Davis moving up to 140 pounds of slim, or the chances of him getting a fight with Devin Haney this year or ever at 135 is slim. And the chance of him getting with Shakur Stevenson is also slim, because once Devin Haney, after he fights Lomachenko, if he beats Lomachenko, it's probably going to go to 140, which means those 4 belts are going to go all over the place, and you're going to have a bunch of title eliminator fights taking place. Now, unless maybe only exception to that may be the fight that may take place for Gervonta Davis, where they may elevate him to the super champion, which I do believe that the WBA would probably do before they let somebody who, isn't necessarily bringing in the money like that get their hands on that upper belt, with the hopes that Gervonta may participate in a unification of the fights. However, that fight with Gary Russell Jr., I think, is very, very realistic. He's somebody that would make a very good fight with Gervonta Davis. That's no walk in the park for Gervonta, because that dude right there most definitely can fight. Now, he doesn't necessarily have the power that Gervonta Davis has, but in another southpaw matchup, man, that would be a very, very, very tough fight for Gervonta until something landed. And if something doesn't land, then, hey, man, it's going to be tough on him beating Gary Russell Jr. But anyway it goes, I would love to see that fight. I think that would be a really good opportunity for Gary at the very, very least, to get himself a nice hefty payday in the later phase of his career, which has avoided him because pretty much everybody at 126 was ducking him. It also is easy to promote because you have all that stuff with what was going on with Meek Mill and Gary and Antoine were supposed to be, his brother Antoine was supposed to be hating on Gervonta in the ring. So you got all of that stuff around it. And on the upside for Gary, if he pulls out the fight, man, that's just huge for his career. And it's, like I said, it's a good fight, no doubt about it. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.